Welcome on in to the Lateka S. Carter Show. I am your host, Lateka S. Carter, and we are broadcasting out of the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. So any of you charlatans in the house, in the virtual house, let me go ahead and hear you say, yes, yes, Queen City. All right, so we've been talking about this hot topic for the month of January, which is being in hot pursuit of the life you want to live for 2024. We know that times we may fall off and things may not always fall suit, but we cannot afford to allow our lives in 2024, a new month and a new year, be the same as every year that has rolled in.
Lateka S. Carter Show. Lateka S. Carter Show. Lateka S. Carter Show. It's showtime.
Sister, brother, I know you're ready to have a better life. I know you're ready to break some cycles, and I know you're ready to get back on top, to really do those things that are on the inside of you. And if you don't know what's on the inside of you, we ask that you continue to watch this show, as we are going to be equipping you and educating you, as well as entertaining you, to help you get the life that you truly want to live in 2024. Now, I have another powerful guest that I am bringing to this virtual stage. Let me go ahead and bring her up. With no further ado, we have the beautiful, intelligent Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell. Hello, and welcome on in.
Hello, sister. That was just the most amazing introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Now, one thing I know about you for sure is you live life on fire. So if you please will introduce yourself to our audience.
Absolutely. I am a human having a spiritual experience as a being alongside with you, Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell. I have had the most blessed and amazing life that has led me here to meet our host, Lateka S. Carter. I'm an author. My latest book is Live Life on Fire, the ultimate guide to a successful life full of peace, joy, and fulfillment, as well as a practicing attorney, 17 years in estate planning, real estate, and business law. And I'm also a CPA, and I have had my fingers in a whole lot of things. And Lateka, I got to tell you, what it all comes down to is that every person is doing the best they can with what they have. Mm-hmm. And my life purpose is to help them to do even better with that. So that's me. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, we met years ago in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's
so
right.
I just knew I had to bring you on, because you just released your book just a year ago, December 2022, that was Live Life on Fire.
That's right. That's right.
And I have been seeing you ever since then. You're just popping up all over the place. I was like, look at that girl. She got it going on. Get it. So I was just so excited to see the fire, because a lot of times people don't know when you have been in the fire.
Yes.
They don't understand what happens behind the scenes. And now you are in a position where you're actually living as an example that you can come out of the fire and not smell like smoke.
So I like that, and not smell like smoke.
Yes, or look like it. Look like you've been on fire in that particular way. So let's talk to the audience on what life was like prior to you writing that book.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I've had a blessed life, wonderful parents, community, a lot of support. Was raised in a home that loved God, and so I had that in me. But because I attributed success with self-worth and acceptance, I worked myself to the bone. And Lateka, you can attest to that. When we met, I had the media company, the publishing company, my law firm, accounting firm. I'm a wife. My husband is a pastor, and we have a church. I'm a mom. I'm the daughter of aging parents. And eventually my body was just like, I can't take this anymore. And my daughter literally found me passed out from exhaustion in the middle of the floor. She was only 6 at the time. And I am very grateful that she did not realize that mommy didn't get up, not because she wasn't tired, it was because she couldn't. I was too tired to put my child to bed. She literally put a pillow under my head and a blanket over my body and said, "Good night, mama." And the only thing I had strength to do was say, "Good night, baby." So that was when I knew that something needed to give, but I was not sure what. And it was another 2 years before my body once again said, enough already. And I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, which for a lot of people, they have no idea what that is. It is the growth of uterine cells outside of the uterus. And for most people, it does not bother them at all. I'm not most people. And I wound up having to have a series of surgeries and take some truly horrible medication. One of them was actually a cancer drug so that I could get back on my feet. And what wound up happening is that I had a lot of time to think as I was home recovering from the hospital, because I was laid up for months. And I said, Holy Spirit, if you bring me out of this, I will get the help I need, because it's obvious I can't do this myself, right? And that's what I did. So I hired a performance coach, Reverend Rowena Silvera Beck, and she had me write down everything that I was involved in. And sister, it was 7 pages single spaced. And for anybody in the audience who thinks, oh, that's crazy, you're right, it is. But you probably have a similar list, because it's not just that you're a mom, right? It's all the responsibilities that come with you being a mom. You are also the Uber driver. You are also the DoorDash, because you got to make sure they eat, right? You are also the principal. I mean, you, and up to a certain point, you're also bathing. So you're in charge of hygiene. You have all these responsibilities, right? And so Rev Ro was like, you got to get this down to 2 pages. And so it took us a couple of years, because you can't just quit, right? Not if you want to maintain your relationships. And so it was systematically resigning, training other people to take over. And in the case of the media company, and this was really hard, it was closing it, period. And it was hard because we were at the top of our game. We were finally at a place where we were being invited to cover the Soul Train Music Awards. It wasn't chasing folks down anymore, you know? Tinsley Bradford, how we met through Tinsley, she's done such an amazing job with the media, right? And so that was really, really hard. But I had to come to the fact that it was the disengagement of the self-esteem with the achievement, so that I could get better and I could get well. And the more, Lateka, I talked to other people, I realized that they were going through the same thing. And they might have just used different descriptions of what it was. But most of us were raised, we were told if you work hard,
come on,
right? And you will make a lot of money, you will be successful, and you will live happily ever after. And ever after never comes.
Never comes.
Right? You might be happy for a moment, but then you have to then do something else to get that happy feeling again. And
happiness is fleeting.
Yes, absolutely. I was like, when are we going to get off this hamster wheel?
Come on.
Like, never. And I was like, so what are we actually living for if we're not going to be happy? And we're actually living for joy. Viola Davis said it so eloquently in her interview with Oprah last year. Well, actually now 2 years ago, right? And she said, I am living for joy. That's what I want in my life. I want peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want peace.
You want peace. And that's how I came up with the title to the book, Well, the subtitle I say a life full of peace, joy, and fulfillment, because that's really what we want. That is not to say I want y'all to give your stuff away. I like nice
Come
things,
on.
obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Right. We gotta have a roof over our head, and I
Yes.
like my car.
Yes, yes.
What I'm saying is that can't define you. That cannot be the end goal, because it's never going to satisfy you. It's never going to be enough. It's how a person can have 600 million and still feel like, if I don't have $1 billion, I'm a failure. A person can be a billionaire and they still act and have the mentality of poverty consciousness. This is why, because they have made that thing or that stuff the end all.
Their God, or what they want.
No, that's right. They're God. That's exactly right.
So when we come back from this break, we're going to dive on in on how you decided to get on back up. Okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back after this break. All right, welcome back to the Lateka S. Carter Show. I'm still with this fabulous guest here, Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell, who began to tell us all the good, and even the situations that she went through, serious situations. But now she wants you to understand you don't have to stay in the condition that you find yourself in now, or even allow your past to dictate to you your future. You can get back up again. Like the song said back in the day, you can get back up again. So let's go ahead and hear this, how Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell was able to come from that horrendous life experience, or should I say experiences, and get back up.
Absolutely. So once Revro and I got to the place where the list was down to 2, I was finally able to go through the process of determining what peace, joy, and fulfillment look like for me. And so then I started working with Reverend Jill Flowers. All these New York babes, right?
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
And she is a hypnosoul therapist.
Okay.
And so we went through this process of inner child work and sister circles, and really pulling apart the self-worth from the stuff. So the achievement, making those accolades basically God, you know?
Wow. And
what I came to is that I was going to have to create a different definition of what success meant for me. And so I shifted from living a perfect life, and perfection, if you look at the dictionary, it's meeting or exceeding standards, and shifting to an excellent one. And that is one with grace. And I know some people are like, well, what's wrong with meeting or exceeding standards? I'm going to say nothing, as long as you know who's setting those standards.
Come on, that part.
That part, right? Because up to that point in my life, and all of us are like this, right? I was trying to meet and exceed standards that other people had given me. People who loved me now, So that's your parents as you're being raised. And then when you go on jobs, you want to do well at work. And then when you start serving in the community, in your church, you want to do a good job. And so that is someone else giving you standards because they tell you what a good job looks like.
Come on, they will tell you.
They tell you. You don't determine that. And you're going to blink, because I did, and be in your 40s and say to yourself, well, why am I still living up to what somebody else said that I should be about?
Yeah.
And so it takes some real shifting of the consciousness to then come over to, well, I can create my own rubric, right? And that is going to be excellence. And the difference between the two for me is the grace I was talking about, because who I was when I was 27 is very different from who I am now at 47. And that's exactly right.
Yes.
I really hope that it's going to be different from who I will be when I'm 67.
Right.
But until we get to the place where we understand that we have ultimate and complete control over how that happens, then we're going to get stuck. And so I created a framework for how that was going to look. The first thing I did is I was like, I've got to focus on people and not just process.
Come on.
Whoever is sitting across from me, that person is here for a reason. We're supposed to have this interaction. There is something to be learned. There is something to be shared. So it might not be revealed immediately, but understanding that it requires us to be fully present in now.
Right.
We have spent so much time, Lateka, planning for tomorrow that we don't spend any time in today, right now. And you know, here I was ill, and it took being flat on my back and realizing I might not see my child graduate from high school.
That's serious.
That is very serious, right? And I was like, well, that's a problem, because if I don't take care of now, tomorrow can't come. Not won't, it cannot. Because if I'm too sick to work, too sick to go anywhere, then what was all this planning for?
Love it. What was all this planning for? And I know there are people out there who can feel you because of where they currently are and how they may be struggling, trying to figure their life out. And chase the bag. Chase the next trend. Follow suit. And you're letting them know you're missing out on your right now. There's nothing wrong with planning. We have to plan. But that's borrowed time that you're pulling in. God has given us this right now time. What are we going to do with it?
That's right.
So we're about to take a break. And when we come back, I want you to really let them know what it means to live life on fire. Okay, we'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Lateka S. Carter, host of the Lateka S. Carter TV Show. If you are interested in being a guest on my show, please visit our website, lscgloballlc.com/guest. Fill out the form, and if we feel that you, your brand, your story is a good fit for our show or one of our upcoming shows, you will definitely be hearing from us. I look forward to helping you get your story out there and shine the light for the kingdom of God's use. Peace and blessings. Women, rise up and live. My best life planner. This planner can help you plan and execute goals successfully, form healthy habits, keep you accountable, manage finances, save time, balance your life, and so much more. This planner can be purchased separately on Amazon or comes with the 6-month Rural Coaching Program with Lateka S. Carter, Transformation Strategist for Women. The Rural Planner can help you stay motivated to live your best life.
Thank you so much for allowing us to take that break. Now, Lynita is on fire. She's given us tons of information and keeping it 100, keeping it real. So, Lynita, what does it mean now, since you've gone through all of those things and I feel like you're in your purpose, like you're walking out your purpose.
Thank you.
And when you walk out your purpose, I feel like that's fire all day long, right? So what does that mean for Lynita living life on fire?
Yeah. So before the break, the first thing was to be fully present and to commit everything to right here, right now. So it's not that we don't plan. I do vision board too. It's just that my attention, my focus, my prayers are focused on right now, the transformation in the now. The second thing that I do is I unstretch myself thin. Every quarter, I review everything that I am involved in, and anything that is not consistent with the purpose and vision that God has on my life, it has to go. So at this point in our lives, right, Lateka, we're not involved in anything that's not positive and loving, right? So that can't be the measure anymore. It really has to be, is this consistent with what God has told me is going on right now and coming down the pipe? Because God is intentional, right? And he is strategic. And if we open ourselves up to those two things, then the things that are not aligned with that, they naturally fall apart.
Yeah.
They naturally do. The third thing is when I go out into the world, I am intentionally focused on making it better.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. And I know that some people are like, well, that's a positive attitude. Well, no, that's part of it. There is an action behind that, though. So it's speaking words to encourage. It is being helpful when you can be. And when you can't, sending prayers and affirmations to that person or that situation. It's asking God to keep your lips zipped. Sometimes when it's just not appropriate.
You got it. You're right.
And on that last point, I am going through a 7-day soul and mental detox with Rev Jill. And it has required me to unsubscribe to some things that I absolutely, I love, but they had gotten kind of on the messy side. And I didn't understand the impact that it had made on my psyche.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is something that goes back to the shaking out things over every 90 days.
Yeah. It's important to be able to shake those things out. And sometimes we don't understand time is an investment.
Yes, it is.
And our time, God has invested time in us by allotting us how many ever years. So now we're looking at our time being an investment. Every time we sit down, watch episodes, or don't spend the quality time with friends or families, or investing in our family members, investing in people. What I know, it was something that Apple put out a long time ago, a commercial, and it said, "What will you contribute to this world?" And that falls aligned with what you just said. What are we contributing to this world? And I'm going to say this quickly. World could also be your world, your family, your community.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Preach, sister, preach.
But it's the truth.
Yes.
It is the truth, because you just said it. I mean, it goes back to the TV, to everything, whatever, even time we spend self-care, that should be an investment.
Yes.
So you're living life on fire. You're giving people the rundown of what you need to do, the 1, 2, 3s, 4, 5, 6 methods, the methodology of getting yourself together.
Yes.
So there's no reason why we can't. Now, I would love for you to let people know how to connect with you and how you balance all of this out to give back, because you too are investing as a coach and a first lady, humanitarian, and more.
So the best way to reach me is my website, which is my name, Lynita, Mitchell-Blackwell.com, spelled Lynita. And from there, we can do all the good stuff. So that's social media, that's blog posts, email lists, events, and all of that, right? And as far as how I give back, it's showing up every day. That is the best thing. You said something that was so pivotal when you said that your environment is you and your home. Charity has to start home with. Because if you don't love you, you can't love anybody else. Not for me. It's a mess, right? And it's heavy, and it masks and hides depression and fear and anxiety. It's not to say we won't experience those things, but there is a healthy and loving way to deal with them. When we're talking about happiness versus joy, happiness is externally determined, and so somebody else can hijack you, whereas joy is internal. And it is built on the pillars of gratitude, thanksgiving, and kindness towards oneself. Yeah.
We don't know how to be kind to our own self. Woo, life is what you make it.
Yes.
And I thank you so much, Lynita, for being on my show, the Lateka S. Carter Show, and dropping these dimes, these hundreds, these nuggets, whatever you want to say. Thank you for the time that you have given us, that you have invested, because this is an investment you are making. You didn't come on just promoting yourself. You came on sharing your story, your testimony of how you two came over. And now here is the proof that you can. So I love it. Thank you again for being on the Lateka S. Carter Show. All right, welcome back to the Lateka S. Carter Show. We're wrapping up the show, but we had an amazing guest on here, Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell. She dropped some major nuggets and even explained to you the importance of self-care, the importance of paying attention to the signs that your body is also giving out. So she's one to show you. She wears many hats. However, you still have to balance your life with everything on your plate. You may be that go-getter. You may be that grinder. You may have a lot of people in your immediate family that are depending on you, but you have to learn how to take care of you. It's time out, especially now in 2024, where we are simply just surviving in this life, that we are learning how to thrive. God has gifted us the time. Every day is a moment. It is an opportunity. And my word, in the words of my sister girl here, Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell, to live life on fire. If you're chasing the bag, chase the bag that is full of wisdom, knowledge, that gives you good insight, that helps you to have strategies, that helps you to pursue the life you really want to live. So yes, turn up, but turn up in the right way, because there are people who are looking at you. There are people who need to see your life has changed for the better. Because if you have changed, then you have the ability to help those who are looking at you to also want to change. We don't have power to change them, but we have power to be an example. But it first starts with you.